We don't need a destination, let's go where the river's taking us. Over fields and through the country, letting go of everything but us. Over the rain.
So I've actually, sorry mate, but I've got a bit of confession to make. I kind of lied to you a little bit about the adventure.
Because and I thought you were kidding.
If I had told the complete truth, I don't think you would have even got on that plane. So,
well, there must be a reason why we hit the gym.
Yeah.
You know, so that we're prepared for stuff like that. But I have to admit, it was a tough journey. You know, it's not a piece of cake to get in there, and I don't know if I can do it in another 10 years time. You know, I'm glad that I did it now, because it was tough as, you know, that steep climbing.
What would have happened if I rang you up and said, Hansi, come and join me and throw on a 30 kilo pack and hike 4K straight up a mountain?
Well, I would have a look at the footage later on. Probably wouldn't be on. No way.
So we kept it a little bit under wraps, you know.
Yeah.
I was talking
but it was absolutely worth it. Let's put it that way.
Oh, that's good.
I'm glad I did it. I mean, that's memories for a lifetime, and pretty cool country. And well, it's tough to get there, but it's worth doing it. That's for sure. Yeah, it's a memory for a lifetime.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger,
yeah,
right?
But that was close to kill me. And I'm glad I did it. It was great experience, mate. Yeah, it was a lot of uphill, and well, the good old lungs were puffing, you know, and the calves were burning. But yeah, we made it happen.
All over body burn.
All over body burn, mate. I had the puffer trousers on. that didn't help, but yeah, we made it happen, mate. And it was worthwhile.
Yeah. Steady as she goes wins the race, mate.
Yeah.
We pick things up on day 2 of a 3-day trip, where Hans Kreuer is fishing with 11 times national fly fishing champ Cory Scott on one of his favourite backcountry rivers. Having fished the lower river yesterday, we're now midway through a gruelling walk, having negotiated a steep climb while burdened by the weight of heavy packs. It's with some relief that we finally reach our start point and Cory gets set to fish the first run.
But it's the end of our guiding season. It's what has enabled us to get up there and fish together.
Yeah.
Obviously this time of year we're not going to have fish actively up on the surface, so the fish are deep, they're hugging the bottom, they're starting to think about the next few months and what their job in life is. And so we really turn towards Euro nymphing, European nymphing, or indicator, double nymphs, heavy stuff to get down in the really tight seams.
Well, we've seen that the last couple of days that the nymphs, the indicator rigs, didn't really work. I mean, it was really boisterous water where the fish was sitting, and the top water is a bit faster than the bottom, and the fish was pretty much on the bottom, and the indicator pulls the flies unnatural through the water, and it was actually the only way to catch fish in that sort of water was the Euro style nymph.
So you can see why I've gravitated towards that technique and really fine-tuned it.
Yeah. Makes sense now. Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. Well, you always think, well, what's all the fuss about it? You know, you chuck a rod around, no fly line. It's not fly fishing. Well, a hell of skill involved to actually manage that drift. You know, you flick it in there, and you straight away have to be in the game. You know that you're not getting that soggy line there, and the contact and the casting. It's a completely different game.
But I mean, you say completely different game, but you guys have got your own style of nymphing that works incredibly well in your fisheries. You've got it refined. Both yourself and Mike are masters at what you've dubbed naked nymphing.
It's still a bit different. It's still a bit different.
Easy as that, boys. And he's probably not going to want to spook anything by standing up. Bugger.
Sorry, lads. Not a lot of great contact there with that wind.
Yeah.
I mean, but we still cast fly line, you know. Or what we do is we put a split shot on and, you know, just flick it in there. With the Euro style stuff, you have hardly any fly line, and if you got fly line, it's a level line. So to get the hang of it, to actually flick it the way you want it, you know, because you don't have that sort of weight, you don't have that fly line, and yeah, I would say it's a different game.
Yeah.
It's a different game.
Cory's in again, and this time with better contact. His innate ability to know what water will hold fish is remarkable, and more often than not, his line comes up tight. Beautiful.
Woo! Epic start after a big hike. Good start to the morning. You're up, Hansie.
Hans quickly shows the value of Cory's recent teachings with the Euro gear and tightens into a good fish. Hansie's in.
Yeah, boy. You do a bit of Jackie there. You there, man, Jack, with the hand to see what's going.
Wow.
You kind of dabbled in it, you saw its effectiveness, and then you were off it. But now you've started to see that, you know, there's something there. There's just another aspect of fishing that you wanted to investigate.
Yeah, definitely. If you got pocket water, I mean, you can do it in calm pools or slow glides. I wouldn't be able to do that, honestly. But in the boisterous water, you know, in pocket water and stuff, I would say it's the only way to effective getting those flies down there and get that drift. It's the only way to do it. And well, it takes a little bit to get the hang of it. But if you got an idea, I mean, I've done it 5 times beforehand, and now a 6-day intensive course, and under your guidance.
The Kiwi Nymphing course.
Yeah, it's great. It's great and effective. It's definitely effective.
This time Cory's rod bends into a fish he knows is much more substantial in size. It digs down deep before making a searing run downstream.
I've got a bit of a low light, and that was, I mean, it was a highlight. What could have been a highlight, it turned into an extreme low light when I lost that fish that could have been double. I did everything I could possibly do. I swam the river 2 or 3 times and just got the better of me.
Well, it's always, if you get the big one, this is the fish who got
Small
away.
Small ones don't get away, do they?
Yeah. But that's the fish who makes you come back.
It's been good to actually be a part of your development and help you through that Euro nymphing journey.
Yeah.
Well, I've dubbed it Kiwi nymphing because there's so many different aspects of nymphing throughout the world. Polish nymphing, Czech nymphing, Spanish nymphing, French nymphing.
Yeah.
What I found was more effective for our fisheries here in New Zealand was lent more towards the French nymphing style.
Long leaders.
Long leaders, long presentation.
Coming from the South Island, Hans is much more used to sight fishing, but the search for probable water and how to fish it blind takes on a new and exciting challenge in what is a mesmerising place.
While there's a lot of people out there searching for the be-all and end-all of fly fishing, the best technique, to me, I don't think it really exists.
No.
There's so many different techniques that need to be utilised at the right time and the right place. And you know, you're on this Euro Nymphing discovery. A lot of the world are really starting to really pull in on this Euro Nymph. You see it everywhere, Euro Nymph. It's nothing new, but it has its place in the right type of water, which we also discovered.
Yeah.
We had water that was perfect for Euro. And then there were a couple of times where it just didn't suit the water we were in. We took the time, we switched techniques, we pulled out the trusty, you'd probably even say it's the Taupo Tongariro style indicator nymph that works so well through winter here in the North Island.
Yeah, in those calmer glides. It's an easy way to do it, I guess. You know, the fish are there, you can read the water. And you just biff it in there and watch that indicator, and if it dips, you got a fish.
Your cast looked a lot better than biffing it, to be fair.
It makes sense that you get a little bit slack in there, or you cast it in the air, like a tuck cast, that you get the flies first on the water, get down there, get the setup right, indicator, nymphs down, still slack, that you get that drift, put the mend in. So it's still a little bit skill involved.
Yep.
but that would be the right technique to fish those calmer runs.
Yeah, and there was that one particular pull there. I said, look, let's stop. Let's take the time. We had to take our packs off and get gear out. I think we did 5 presentations for 5 hookups.
Yeah, that's the North Island for you. That's the North Island. You wouldn't have that in the south probably, but yeah, I mean, you know the water and you know where the fish are holding, and no, it was good. It was good. The right technique for the right piece of water, and it definitely helps if you got someone who knows his way around and knows where those fish are sitting.
After what you've experienced, do you think the fish are any easier to catch?
Well,
Or what is it?
Well,
Because you saw a lot of fish that denied you.
5 days, 100 fish. But when you think those stupid rainbows, you catch them under any circumstances. No, you actually don't. They're quite moody as well. I mean, the weather didn't improve today. It was cold last night. The fish really showed you what they think about it. So
Again, so cool.
Euro style or dry fly, or if the fish not feeding, they're not feeding. So that's what it is. In the end of the day, it's fishing.
Yeah, and it's still a good place to be.
It's a challenge, yeah. It's one of the best places to be, actually.
So I was going to ask you what the highlight of your day was.
Fishing wise, it's just stupid here, man. It's just stupid. The amount of fishing here is just stupid. It's good fun. It's good fun, especially if you want to learn some new technique. It's no point if you got 4 chances a day. It will take longer to actually pick up, the the way to fish, how to present the flies. And here in every pool you got 3-4 chances, you know. So I think we got in the last 2 days, 70 fish?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of chances. So if you're not getting it there, you might pick up golf, you know. So no, it's a great learning curve, and I mean, learning from the best. And it's an honour, mate.
Yeah, well, my highlight's just been watching your progression from yesterday morning, no contact, sloppy casting, to when you put it all together down there on the fish of the trip.
Yeah, it's you can call it a journey, that's for sure. I mean, it's completely different to the usual stuff we do, but definitely catch fish, mate.
But you can see why I gravitate towards that technique on this type of water around here.
Oh yeah. It's really productive. I would never ever get the idea to fish nymphs that heavy, or you know, that flashy and all that stuff in my neck of the woods. But it definitely works. And it's a big step up, that's for sure, to have that under your belt.
I wasn't actually trying to bullshit you guys at all earlier this morning when we were clambering through the bush back there. And I said, close your eyes, I'm going to blindfold you and walk you to this edge, because I just wanted to see you guys open your eyes at that vista.
Unbelievable view, that's for sure. Like I just said before, that's the waterfalls pretty close to what you get in Bosnia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wouldn't expect that somewhere here. I mean, I thought headwaters is nice, but you know, that's a pretty stunning view to get to, and have that as a backdrop and catching rainbows one after another, it's not getting better than that.
No.
It's pretty cool.
No, well, that's one thing that I don't actually ever take for granted, and I appreciate it every time I come up here, and this place fills my soul. I could be having a pretty crappy week like I've had in the last few weeks with car issues.
Yeah.
It's tax time.
Yeah.
Come up here, it's all forgotten.
Yeah, it's a magical place, that's for sure.
Talk us through the Euro nymphing journey? Because it's kind of new to you. You've dabbled with it, but you haven't really.
Well,
spent time with
we do sort of, you know, naked nymphing and stuff, but the going completely Euro is more defined. The whole stuff with the lines, the rods to feel it through. The nymphs itself, yeah, it's quite a bit of a difference to what we do in that case. And
But you've seen now why I use that technique.
oh, it's productive.
A lot around here.
It's productive. There's no way around. I mean, you have to have the sort of water for it.
Yeah.
You know, if you you can do it in the slack water in the pools, but I'm not feeling confident to do that. But in the pocket water, yeah, it's bloody effective. There's no way around.
Being late season, the size and condition of the rainbows we encountered was exceptional. It's quite mesmerising to be catching big rainbows at the foot of a series of majestic waterfalls. It was almost dreamlike. The next half hour was a euphoric blur of catching large rainbows, one after another. Cory's unrelenting energy to simply fish seemed to match the river's ability to keep offering up chances. Chances he was only too keen to seize upon.
What I've always found since I started this journey in European nymphing, which is now nearly 15 years ago, I land fish faster on lighter rods. They're not feeling any resistance. If they're a 6 weight, 5 weight, they can feel that as you leverage and you pull, that they're resisting. They're pulling back, they're taking a run, they're shaking their head. With that softer rod that you just talked about, with that action, you can just pull them up, let it, quickly net them. Lift their head, you get a shot, you net them, and they go ape shit in the net. But a lot of people think the opposite. They think fishing a light rod, you're stressing the fish. No.
I thought, they're flimsy sticks, but they're actually not, and you need that little bit flexibility to get the cast in or to feel the take. But if you got the fish on, you still got that backbone to actually lead the fish where you want them. And yeah, I was surprised. Good stick.
As the guys head back to camp, they reflect on what has been an amazing day.
A great day, mate. You definitely know your turf, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, it's bloody awesome to actually finally have you up here in this place that's really special to me. It's good to share it with you and the guy behind the camera.
After such a big day, the boys have some food and warm themselves by the fire, trading stories until lured to bed by the promise of a warm sleeping bag and the prospect of another steep climb tomorrow. Sleep comes easily. Can't help but linger and watch in awe at the scale and power of Mother Nature. Soon enough though, the lure of more large rainbow trout lying in wait above the falls has us on the move once again. The mayfly showed early, greatly increasing our chances of finding feeding fish, and we approached the first piece of water with confidence. Hans has a likely lie lined up.
Looking down, I couldn't even see the fish.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of misconception. You know, you got the South Island fishery, gin clear water, super spooky fish, stealth is key. And then people come north, or people that haven't really been here or haven't been in our headwater backcountry fisheries seem to think that it's just going to be an easy walk in, walk up to a fish, plop a fly in front of them and catch them. But for me personally, I find the best success is still to maintain that stealth approach. You can't approach these fish. They're just as clever, some places, if not more towy than South Island fisheries, in my experience.
Well, they're big fish, and they're not getting big by being stupid. And it's the same here on the North Island. If you're clumsy, then you won't catch them. I mean, like I said, they're big for a reason. If you put a cast in on their head or you kick rocks, they're wild fish, you know. There's no different to the South Island.
There was that one particular fish, and we were up on the bank, and he was in that run, and he was just swinging. And as soon as I took one step down, even though I was further back, game over, he was gone, and you said he's out, mate.
Yeah.
You know, that there's a classic scenario of what you would be faced on the South Island. And here we had a super deep, heavy water run where you should have cover, and he knew we were there.
Yeah. And there's no pressure on that river.
Yeah.
Or not as much pressure as on the South Island rivers. And,
So it's what I'm saying is it's not a given that you're
No.
just going to throw a fly in anywhere up here and
well, it's like anywhere
get
else.
better hookup success.
It definitely helps if you can cast. If you, the most expensive rod won't help you if you're clumsy and you can't cast. That's for sure. So you have to have a certain skill level to make that trip worthwhile.
And the reputation has always been of this river as having the hardest fighting rainbows in the country, if not the world.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise that I mean, those 8-pound rainbows are twice topped my personal best rainbow on that trip. And we were fishing 4-weight rods, you know, most of the time. And I was actually surprised what you can do with those rods. They're definitely not toys. They got the backbone to do the job and the sensitivity to feel the take. So yeah, a steep learning curve, and I was actually surprised about how the gear performs, that's for sure.
Likely water identification became increasingly important. as even though there were still fish hitting the net, there were less than the previous days. Cory's hunches on where to target became even more important, and to add to that, the fish were definitely getting bigger.
Yes!
What a fish, mate. Yeah, that's the one. Beautiful, let's have a look at that. Wow. Stunning. Okay. The immersion in country so totally different was captivating. While taking a well-earned break for lunch, the guys suggested I get out from behind the camera and go for a fish for a change. After having no joy with the indicator setup, I tried the Euro rod on some inviting pocket water. The slippery and algae-covered Papa Rock made for some hesitant wading and a few nervous moments as Hans moved in to help with the net. Okay, in?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, buddy.
Whoa, that's a tank.
The predicted 7mm of evening rain became 80mm, the sound of which hitting our tents all night had us quickly checking the state of the river at first light. As feared, our route out was cut off, meaning a much longer climb out than anticipated. But I guess that all just adds to the rich tapestry of this story.
You know, we've talked about the big fish. You know, that's what people see as the pinnacle. That's what they'll see as the end result, really. But for me, it's having good times with good mates. The camaraderie, the laughs, the banter especially. There's nothing like taking the piss out of your mates.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a big part of it. I mean, we wouldn't do it if we're not getting on, and going for a fish with good mates, it's hard to beat, you know. But it's also the places you get, you know. I mean, trout are not on ugly places. Let's put it that way, you know. I mean, the spots you got us onto is just mind blowing. I mean, waterfalls like in Croatia, you know. the whole world is packed in a little piece of New Zealand. You know, you see mountains like Alaska, lakes, water is clear as gin. It's just it's a mind-blowing place.
So where we went, where I took you, it's super spiritually special place to me.
Well, I believe that. Yeah.
For one, it's just the way it makes you feel and what you're seeing.
Yeah. No,
And there was a moment there where I was actually going to blindfold you, but then I said, just close
Cliff
your
is
eyes.
cool.
But then I thought, shit, don't close your eyes and don't blindfold you, because if you trip over one of these
you will be
logs,
dead.
you're going over the cliff. But
Yeah.
that vista at that moment, what did you think?
Yeah, well, mind-blowing. It's the only explanation I got for that, you know. Yeah, pretty stunning place, mate.
Yeah, I mean, people
lots of cliffs.
travel to the far ends of the earth for something like that, and it's here on my
It's
back
right there.
doorstep. Yeah, so I feel pretty honoured to have you and Mike, who's behind the camera, share that with. So it's been a top trip, and thanks to you guys for coming. Thanks for everyone that supports us, Guideline, Southern Latitude Guides, epic team.
Appreciate it, mate.